SoundCloud. What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And we're just going to get right into this. We're going to talk about Chelsea in the Champions League, and it's not about who did well in the Champions League this weekend or this midweek. It's about who is no longer in the Champions League. And we'll talk some Europa League scores, mainly Manchester United, and there's Chelsea versus Brighton Hove this weekend. It's all Chelsea in the Premier League, because that's where Graham Potter going back, or Graham Potter's old team coming to visit his new team. We'll see. It's like meet your new family. Kids, meet your new family. And we got a usual suspect, stand-up comic, Neil Chakravarty, Chelsea fan. What up, fam?
All good. How's it going?
Good.
How do
good.
you? I heard Mr. Anthony did a couple of Harlem Globetrotters, pulled out a few tricks.
Right. It's funny that you heard about that, of all things. Did you hear anything?
No, I saw the clip. No, that's it.
And then it turned into an almost really great pass.
It went outside.
Yeah, it went outside, but it wasn't to nowhere. Like somebody, that's football, and we won. So it doesn't matter that the pass didn't connect with anybody. And we want our players to have fun, in my opinion.
And what his pass did? Mm-hmm. It made the box of things to talk about in the United game to increase it from 0 to 1. Like there's absolutely nothing to talk about. That I heard nothing else. So at least he brought something because you guys had already qualified, right?
Well, we need to. The only way to avoid the knockout and get the number 1 spot was to win this game. And our last game against Ammonia, that goalkeeper did everything to shut us out. So Sheriff, they have a good history in the Champions League. Sheriff has beat Real Madrid, right?
They beat Real Madrid the year Real Madrid won the Champions League last season,
right? Like major teams couldn't do it. So we're facing a team that's now there 1 year later. I don't know what the changes were to their team, but listen, because we beat them, it was such a formality, and we were dominant. Everybody thinks it's a formality, but you have to get the 3 points. And another great thing about today is that we started Guy and Archo on the left. It's like, how old is Guy and Archo now? He's out of our youth academy. We think we got him from Atletico Madrid. He's born in Spain, but he's Argentinian. I'm trying to spell his name. Chill, let me tell you how old he is. He's 18, but he'll go right at you. He's like a rat that'll eat his way through your walls and then run up your pants leg. Like that's what he does to defenders.
Yeah, I've seen him at youth level a little bit, because some of the games in the FA Youth Cup which were in a hard live broadcast, he taught us a new one last season. He was really good.
Yeah, well, to him, all the levels are the same. You youth, you adult, you Europa League, you Premier League.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run up your pants leg and come out the other side, and so he was very attacking today. He started the game, and so good for him. He's been on the bench for a bunch of games, and I just want to again, even all this week I've been listening to Man U podcasts, and we have to buy in January. We have to buy, and it's like we have him, we have Ahmad, we have Pellistri, we have Ilanga, and we have 1 year. You feel me? We have 1 year. 1 year meaning I, as a fan, know that we're rebuilding. So I don't expect a lot from our team this year, except I want us to develop a style of play, a winning style of play, and look good and be competitive. So if Ten Hag doesn't get us in the top 4 this year, it's fine. But if he puts certain things in place for us to get into the top 4 on a consistent basis next season and the season after, the season after, season after, season, I'm good. So one of the things I don't want us to do is spend money on offensive players if we have some. So we have this 1 year, which is what I mentioned before, to experiment with some possibilities. This is the year, because we don't have to, and a lot of people don't expect us to finish in the top 5, to finish in the top 4. So let's use that 1 year grace period, which no team ever really gets, to our advantage, and see if these guys are worth saving us some money. And if they are, cool. And if not, then we buy some people the next season. But I don't want us wasting money on positions when we have potential people. And I think football fans is like, buy. When you're buying, your club is doing something and making moves. But it's not always true.
And even if you want to buy, like, who can you get in winter that you couldn't have already gotten in the summer? Or you can't get, like, if there was somebody who, is in your sights and you could have gotten, you would have already gotten them in summer, like Anthony.
Well,
you're not going to get the best players.
Well, Gakpo was always a potential deal, and he's interested in the club, and he does want to leave. He turned down a move, I think it was to Crystal Palace, because he wanted to go to a higher up club in the league, like so he's down. I think it's at PSV. Yeah, I think they're down. And shout out to PSV for beating Arsenal in Europa League today. They deserve all the smackings that they can get, even if they don't start a full team. That's not my fault. He took a smacking today. So yeah. So I just, and there's a list of people. They're going to be there's people saying those players are going to be more expensive if we wait till the summer. But what if we don't need them? You know what I mean? I would love to not need them. I'd love to watch our youth players. And I believe in Anthony Elanga. A lot of people don't, but it's like the lot. When I saw the flashes, and everybody's like, we need a right back. But now the lot is showing people. It's like, and I'm not trying to put everything on these young players right now, but if Ronaldo is our great destabilizer, it's the metal column that may break us or help to hold us together, And
I always feel like with youth players, like players coming up from the academy, or even like some young players that you probably bought, not with a big price tag, you should always, like, if you just need squad players, you should always use these players, and you should go dip into your money, dip into your transfer budget only if you need somebody who for sure will instantly elevate the starting 11. Like maybe the PSV striker is that guy, because you don't really have a clear-cut number 9, but only if you're convinced that he's gonna come in and be better than Rashford, be better than Ronaldo. Ronaldo, not prime Ronaldo. We know the Ronaldo that we're getting right now, right? So, but if he's just gonna be another body in the forward area, you already have those bodies, and you don't need to spend that much, because you already have the players that you mentioned.
No, I agree with that. And I think I just kind of have seen these players play, and they're young, and I feel like they have a great potential if with this year, we use them right and give them a taste. And I know players can show potential in the beginning and then wane off, but so can somebody you spend a lot of money on. So
ask us.
Yeah, exactly. So let's try these dudes out and see what they got before we go spending money. Only thing we do need is maybe a right back and another midfielder. But maybe Zidane Iqbal will end up doing something for us. So I always have him in mind. I'm like, if
How
we
about
could,
that guy?
yeah. Maguire played for us today.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And you have
second
a clean
half.
sheet?
Yeah, we got the clean sheet. He had the clean, helped us get the clean sheet for 45 minutes. Ronaldo played, Ronaldo scored. Like, but he blew some opportunities. And but he got his goal on the second shot of his last opportunity. And he was a part of our second team goal. We scored a team goal that second, and then Rashford scored, and so and Delot. So a good display. Like we have to go play. What's that Spanish team in our group?
Real Sociedad?
Let me make sure.
No, but you guys played. Wait, did you guys play Bodo? No, that's the Arsenal team, Arsenal group.
I'll tell you in a sec. We have to play.
You guys play Sheriff. Yeah, you have to play Real Sociedad. Yeah. They're top of the league, right? They're top of the group.
They're not only top of the group. Like if we beat them and get the 3 points, they have like
better head to
a
head.
3 goal difference. Like I think they have 9+ goal difference.
Doesn't it come out to head if it's between two teams?
I hope so, because then if we could just outscore them in that game and they add up the goals from both games, then because they beat us by 1 and they didn't deserve that 1 goal. They called that ref screwed us. He called a handball when the Martinez had his hand right here. I like it's on his body. So how is it a handball? I have no idea. Like nobody agrees on that. Real Sociedad didn't agree on that handball, But yeah, so we don't want to face anybody.
But you don't want to face, because now there's a full star cast of teams descending
like locusts.
The Dragons are descending on King's Landing.
Who is it? Is Atletico Madrid,
Juventus. There's Barcelona.
And I want to personally welcome Barcelona to the Europa League. And, all the levers you pulled and all the players you wouldn't sell us that didn't want to come to us because they wanted to play in Champions League, you are now in the Europa League. And Moa, who's a big Barcelona fan, I texted him yesterday and welcomed him to the Europa League. It's fun down here, bro.
For the second time in a row.
Yeah, let's get it, man. Like you probably have the biggest budget in the Europa League. So it'd be a shame if you got kicked out of the Champions League and don't win the Europa League. Yeah. So good luck with all that. But yeah, man, good luck trying to get Messi back to come play in the Europa League, even though that's next season and if you finish second. But, what do you think of Barca getting dropped out of the Champions League?
It's the happiest I've been for a long time. It couldn't have happened to a better club. Like the amount Barcelona has exploited UEFA for the longest time. The fact that they're now in the the lower competition in UEFA. This is just like I thought Messi leaving Barcelona and all that, all that hoo-ha that happened was good to see. Like this is pure salt, right? From a rival, from fan of a team that doesn't really like Barcelona. But it's crazy how Barcelona for the longest time was the most loved team, with all their beautiful football, Cruyff, Ronaldinho, Guardiola, Messi, all of that. And now I think it's universally like nobody likes Barcelona unless I don't think even a lot of the Barcelona fans like Barcelona anymore. Because what do you like? You've gone so far down And there is, you thought like you mortgaged your house, you mortgaged, you
Triple
mortgaged,
mortgage.
you mortgaged any future houses you buy
Yeah.
to do what? Just
Yeah.
to go back to the Europa League. Like, it's just crazy the kind, like the desperation they were showing, you know. And then there were all these lineups I saw from Barcelona fans that, you know, this team wins the Champions League. Well, not this season. It doesn't. Yeah.
I
So
can't. Yeah, I can't believe they took Lewandowski away from Bayern to play in the Europa League. And, you know, Bayern was partly responsible, to at least 2 games responsible, heavily responsible for sending Lewandowski through the trapdoor down to the Europa League. So they got their sweet revenge because they played them yesterday, even though I think they were already eliminated. But
yeah,
Bayern Munich was like, listen, you know what? We're our triple nail in this coffin. You feel me?
and they kind of like took it easy. Like they kind of behaved as if, you know, feel so sorry for you guys. Like they could have easily won that game final 6-0. He was kind of like, you know, throwing them some scraps. All right, I guess let's not make you feel that bad. And there was this moment at the end where all the Barcelona players were standing in front of the crowd, like they went to say thank you, whatever. And some of the Barcelona fans, they started still singing and they were drumming.
Mhm.
And they started drumming and they started humming a tune, and the players are just stunned looking at them. They don't know what to do. And the tune kept going on and on. And if you really, really pay attention and you really closely listen to that tune, it was the theme song of the Europa League.
Oh,
Yeah. I was like, I could hear the drums going in that same beat. Oh,
yeah, damn.
like
Yeah, enjoy.
this is lovely.
Yeah, a bunch of
But
fans. Go ahead.
no, like their backline was uh Alonso, Kunde, Hector Bellerin, and somebody else. I forgot who was left back. Like Marcos Alonso was playing a center back in the back four. Like, if you don't want to know
Damn.
anything else about how this Barcelona season is going, if you just know this tiny tidbit, that Marcos Alonso, at the age of 32, 33, was playing
Damn.
center back in a back four against Bayern Munich. That's
And
all you need to know.
it must be especially sweet to you because it proves your point, because you don't like him.
Well, but I don't. I feel bad for the guy. Like, you know, why are you playing center back? You're barely functional as a serviceable as a fullback or as a wing back. Why are you playing center back?
Well, doesn't that guarantee that he stays in defense and that he's not caught up the wing, out of place when? But I guess
But
the
he
theory
still has
didn't
to
work.
do that team is just running on vibes. It's just vibes. It's just they're just freestyling their way, freewheeling their way into the Europa League.
I feel bad for Alonso. Like, he leaves Chelsea to play next to Hector Bellerin. Like, that can't be like your life's goal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to Barcelona. Wait a minute. I'm going to be playing next to Bellerin? Like, he couldn't even get into my team. And I couldn't even get into, I barely got into my team. So
yeah,
we just basking in the glory. Lee, who just joined us, Lee Hudson, everybody. What a fan, Southampton.
Hey.
Fan, stand-up comic in England, bask in the joy of Barcelona getting lowered down into the ground, into the Europa League. How do you feel? Is this as big as football coming back as the Queen after the Queen died? Like,
it definitely feels like there's some karmic justice at play.
1000%.
Yeah, all that, all the financial levers they were put in. They spun the roulette wheel and it's not landed on what they wanted to land on. It's thing is, I have like a historic like love for Barca, like, you know, the Barca philosophy of like Cruyff and people, and then the Guardiola team. But then it's just become sour over the years because of how they've handled themselves. It's, yeah. I mean, that's modern football. It gets everyone. And right now they're one of the ugliest sort of epitomes of modern football with how they've been operating these past few years.
Yeah. And I kind of watched the game last night, and they played some good, beautiful losing football to Barcelona. Like, they were attacking with that same naivety we were talking about Arsenal has, but even more. Like, in their attacking, and they leave themselves open for a counter. And against like Bayern, who's definitely street smart and just has done everything. Those players, like even the ones they brought in, has won shit. Like even Choupo-Moting got a goddamn Champions League. You know, he scored yesterday. He's smarter than a Barcelona squad. And yeah, it's definitely justice. They deserve. I wish there was a trap door for them to drop down to the Conference League. Like that, nothing would make me happy if they slipped down another league and then lost in that competition too.
That's good. A lot of justice being done in the Champions League this week. I like it.
Yeah, 100%. Juventus out, like we said, and Atletico ugly football is out. Like, their football is so defensive. Mourinho's like, hey man, try to score. Jesus Christ. Like, it's too much defense. But yeah, those teams deserve to be out. But there's a lot of big names in the Europa League now, I'll tell you that. And then I just wanted Neil to speak on like Chelsea's game. Was it against Red Bull Leipzig?
Red Bull Salzburg.
Salzburg. You struggled.
Close enough.
But it was a good game though.
It's fun to watch.
Fun. That was fun. That was a fun ride.
I think we struggled for a bit. I think in terms of attacking play, I think this was kind of one of the because we've been struggling for a while now. I think since this Milan game, we've been struggling last 3 games to get into any sort of attacking play going. So in that aspect, I think it is pretty good. There were a lot of good moves. We did some crazy things with the lineup where we had both wing backs as pretty much wingers, Pulisic and Sterling. I guess the idea was you're going to have so much of the ball that the wing backs are going to pretty much practically play as wingers, which did happen. But then you also saw at times, so Salzburg are not a rollover, right? They do have players who can hurt you.
Yeah.
So some of these wingers, like Sterling, sometimes when he is having to defend, the good thing about Sterling is he has the pace, so he always gets there. But he just doesn't, he doesn't have that defensive knack. Sometimes he uses his experience to get his body into the way, but he also gets like beaten a lot. So
is it because I think Sterling doesn't like defending in his own half, but he doesn't mind defending if the ball is in the attacking half of the pitch. But to have to run all the way back, cross a line to defend.
Yeah, I mean, defending as a winger versus defending as a wingback, completely different things. Like you can pretend that it's fake it for a bit, but it's not the same. So
he had that counter press ingrained into him at Man City under Guardiola. That you give the ball away, you go win it back, and like winning the ball high at the pitch is definitely in his DNA after that time.
But apart from that, I think there were a lot of really good moves. Like there was some very slick passing from the middle of the pitch with Gallagher, Kovacic, and Jorginho, and it was good to see us, get a lot of good moves. There was this one move where, I mean, if Aubameyang had scored that'd be probably, that'd be the one clip that gets clipped up and posted all over as spotted ball. And it happened a little bit, but there was no goal at the end of it. Like there was a move from Kovacic, Jorginho, Gallagher, up to I think it was Sterling, and then Havertz, Aubameyang. But Aubameyang missed a one-on-one versus the keeper. He missed a couple of chances this game. And
yeah, he does every game now.
Yeah,
At
I mean,
least two.
he's the kind of player where, if as long as the goals are coming, you're going to be happy. But it's also very easy to spot when the goals are not coming. So, yeah, we're in that kind of a phase right now. But that's that goal that we conceded again of a counter attack. I really don't know what's the solution to this. We concede so many goals in transition. It's kind of crazy that almost every goal we concede is in transition. I mean, we know that we don't have, in Kante's absence, we don't have that defensively minded player in midfield. But I don't know, like it keeps happening. Something needs to be done there. And but the response was good. We still kept going, and Pulisic had a good impact. Drew a lot of defenders towards him. Did that, the typical Pulisic run that he does. Drew defenders to him and released the ball to Kai Havertz, who scored a worldie. And he knows how to score these goals. It's just that it happens so rarely at Chelsea. So
is he a midfielder or a forward? He's scoring Scholes goals. Like you put him in the box. It's kryptonite.
He's that's so funny because I don't think even he knows what he is. Because I've seen this dude give out interviews. 4 different interviews he's gonna say about 4 different positions as his favorite ones. Like the same exact question. What's your best position? What's your favorite position? He's told that
he's a non-binary offensive player.
Like a number 8, a number 10, a false 9, and a number 9. Like and we use him as winger a lot. So yeah, so one day some manager will be able to get the best out of him. I just hope it's at Chelsea because he has a lot of talent. It's just that he's just not able to put it all together consistently.
So since we're talking about Chelsea, Lee, we're gonna so I was looking at who plays who this week, the weekend in the Premier League, and Brighton Hove goes up against Chelsea. Let me see if it's a home game.
It's at Brighton, I think.
It's at Brighton. So Graham Potter's going home.
Yeah.
And now he's facing the guy that took over his job, who needs a win, desperately. So who has who has the advantage in this league? From just your experience, does the coach bring in his new team home have the advantage, or does the old team that knows all the coach moves have the advantage, in a situation like that in this?
I think Chelsea do, because Potter's a chameleon. He can change shit up so much. He has all these different game plans that he tailors to the opponent. So I don't think they'll know too much. And also Roberto De Zerbi at Brighton has his he's quite a fundamentalist in his philosophy of how he wants them to play. So I think Potter will know the individuals there and what they're capable of and their strengths and weaknesses, whereas I think that he's got better players at his disposal at Chelsea. So I'm expecting a Chelsea win. I think they'll be made to work for it, though. I think it'll be like a 2-1 Chelsea or something. I think they'll have enough quality to see Brighton off, but Brighton will definitely make them work for it. But yeah, Brighton are slipping at the moment. It's not quite come together under the new manager yet. Obviously, they got the 3-3 draw at Liverpool in his first game, but he'd had barely any time on the training ground with them. I think he just put out the team that Potter would have played against them. And since then, they've had a 0-0 draw at home to Forest. They lost at home to Spurs without scoring as well. So they're struggling for goals a little bit at times. But they've got good players who can hurt Chelsea if they're on an off day, like Trossard, people like that. Who knows? Danny Welbeck could have his one good game in 10 that he has against Chelsea.
Leading the line, he's just saying scoring.
Yeah. So Brighton, they've got the potential to win, but I think, like I said, I don't think they'll gain much from knowing Potter, because I think he'll come up with something that they aren't probably expecting. I don't think he's played the same team 2 games in a row yet at Chelsea.
Or
Well,
formation.
Yeah, exactly. He's
He
like I
might
say,
play a 10-1, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
yeah. I think he's got like a coaching magic 8 ball or something. He just shakes it before the game, like, "What are we playing today?" Like, and it's something different every time. So no, I mean, he's a kid. He's methodical. I'm sure he's going to come up with something tailored to Brighton, and he'll want to go there and show why he left as well. You don't want to be the guy who leaves a club for something bigger, and then your bigger ends up getting made smaller by the team you left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Chelsea will do it, and I think they'll probably make hard work of it, because that's what Chelsea do right now. But they'll get the result.
Yeah. Neil, who you rooting for in this one?
I'm rooting for Grant Potter's current team.
All right.
I'm rooting for Chelsea, also known as the New Brighton, because apparently we also got their head of recruitment now.
Oh shit.
Like, we got the recruitment analyst with Potter, but apparently now we're also going to go get the head of recruitment. And so a lot of moves actually happened this week, where we got Joe Shields from Southampton. Like, officially we announced him, and then we got this other guy.
And he's the head of recruitment.
Yeah, he's the head of recruitment.
Yeah.
And
is it? Well, he's joint head of recruitment, I think.
Joint, yeah. Somebody has to be joint, because we're getting 6 people. So
Paul, you're getting Paul Winstanley from Brighton as well, who's their head of recruitment. So him and Joe Shields, I think, are going to be
who's the head of
duo.
recruiting these people to recruit people for you?
Okay, so let me see what is. Oh yeah, you're right. Co-director of recruitment and talent. And
then you've got Carl McCauley from Brighton, who came with Potter, who's the head recruitment analyst.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's like they're assembling the recruitment Avengers at Chelsea.
That is true. Like, it's literally, Man City, the Red Bull Group, and a little Monaco. We got this guy from Monaco too. He was announced. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, he was announced.
You're going to be able to play a team of recruitment guys if you want. You field a team of recruitment boys.
But that's the academy. So it's like, what are you doing? You already have an academy. You're already good at recruiting and getting. You're going to get.
I don't think we are that good at recruitment at the senior level. It's been pretty shambolic for the last, I don't know, maybe a decade or so.
I just don't think you're good at using or incorporating them into your.
Nah, I think from the time when Mourinho joined the second time, and that kind of coincided with Michael Emenalo's wings being clipped. Till that time, we were doing amazing. We had like this 3 or 4 year period where we got Azpilicueta all for like within 10-20 million. Azpilicueta, Matic, David Luiz, all the Brazilian, the Belgium guys, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Courtois, Mohamed Salah. Like, that was a really solid, spell of recruitment. And then obviously Mourinho came in. He kind of, he had his own ways of doing. We kind of gave him the keys to the kingdom, which I think we still haven't recovered from that.
So all those people were there before Mourinho got there, like De Bruyne, Salah, and
Lukaku. Somewhere like Salah was after Mourinho, but none of them with these guys were Mourinho buys. Like, they all came from Michael Emenalo and the recruitment team. The old Belgian guy, or the Dutch guy. This very, like, he's almost 80 years old now. So, but yeah, I think we need to go back to those, the basics of doing good recruitment, so we don't have to end up spending 200-300 million every window, because that money's going to run out very soon.
So that Bowley group got it, bro. They paid.
And also
change the title. They need to change the title to recruitment and retention, because you need to retain these Musialas. You need to retain these Illings, the kid who went and tore it up for Juve on his Champions League debut this week.
Yeah, down the left wing. Yeah, we talked about
to be fair, I think to be fair, I don't think with Illings we did, but with Musiala, the club really tried a lot to keep him. He just wanted to,
But that's what I'm saying. You guys are still doing great in your youth system. You look just those two players. Like, I get what you're saying, but just those two players, like, they're still pretty young and killing it. And they could have went from Colburn, is it Colburn? To if Musiala, I feel like if Musiala didn't want to stay, you guys would have figured out a way not to use him and make him, or maybe he just saw the pattern and he's like, I'm out.
No, I'm sure they saw a pattern, but even if he, like, his point probably was like, Munich's gonna play me at 17, 18. You're gonna play me at, say, even if you play in a good scenario at 20, I don't want to wait those extra couple of years.
Yeah, I don't want to do the 5 loans that you're going to send me on.
Yeah. But also, I think only Bayern Munich can do that. Like, you can do that in the Bundesliga, get away playing a 17-year-old and 18-year-old. Like, how many clubs?
Dortmund, Bellingham.
Yeah, no, but
Sancho.
You can do it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can do it at Bundesliga. How many clubs in the Premier League, especially at the top level, can get away with doing something like this?
I mean, I think they're underrated for it, but United, like, they threw Rashford in super young.
But they had a huge striker crisis.
That's what I was going to say about us earlier, and I forgot, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like, it's like our players get brought through when, like, Greenwood, we ran out. We ran out. Everybody was injured. Something was up. Then Greenwood comes in and says, wait a minute, we had that just sitting there? And Rashford, like, same thing. And even McTominay, who's not like, we've always needed a midfielder since the days of Fergie. You feel me? So him coming through it, and we tried before him Pereira, who's killing it now at Fulham. And, we tried, but a lot of our players are like accidents, or we're forced in a position where we have to. Like, except Garnacho today, like, we're like, all right, let's try him. He's been good in training. Let's put him on. And Elanga was like a necessity thing last year. It's like
he's kind of disappeared off the face of the earth this season. He played those early games, didn't he, under Ten Hag, when you were getting beat heavy, and then just disappeared almost.
He played some minutes at the end of the Ronaldo walkout game. He actually took Ronaldo's minutes.
Yeah.
But
he's like a peripheral figure now, isn't he? Whereas he was integral for a few months.
I still believe in him, though. He's going to be fine. He just needs some time. Probably after Ronaldo leaves, you'll see him a lot more. So you think you're going to win, Neil?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see a good performance for 90 minutes. I've been kind of like starved out there. I think if you play well for 90 minutes, I think we'll get the points, because defensively we've been pretty solid. And Trevor Chalobah has really stepped up. I think he's going a little under the radar right now, but I think probably on form the best English centre back, and that's something he's giving Gareth Southgate something to think about. As a Chelsea fan, that's a bad thing, because as good as he keeps doing every week, it's another player that'll go to the World Cup, I feel. But
Gareth Southgate ain't gonna take him. You're good. Like,
he's got his favourites.
Yeah, he's got his favorites. Maguire played 45 minutes today. He's in. There's no Chalobah.
Yeah, I'll be happy, because we have a centre-back crisis with Fofana injured, Koulibaly is having injuries, Thiago Silva is, I don't even know how he's doing it. I don't know how he's doing it. Like, and he's playing at a good level. Like, I don't know how he's doing it twice a week. And he's going to go into the World Cup, which is going to be really intense for him. Like, I would really hope Chalobah doesn't go anywhere and he gets to rest that month. But he's performing at a level which we would have expected a new signing to come in and perform.
I always thought, I never even understood why you guys stopped playing him, Chalobah. I was like, he might have made a mistake in a game or something, but that's natural. It's like, I'm not surprised that he's doing well now. I'm like, play him. Like, listen, I'm sure if Thiago gets injured, there's somebody you're going to pull out the academy that I didn't know was there, and that's going to do a good job. And you guys, it's just like, and if every club does it though, man. Nobody wants to use their youth, but they raise them, but they don't want to let them out the house and let them be independent kids. And and go do their thing. I know we don't have a lot of time.
Sometimes,
Go ahead.
sometimes those young players though, they need a little break from the firing line. Like they can't withstand like week in, week out, playing. Like I think they burn out a little bit easy. So sometimes they need to come out the spotlight for a bit.
But this is the kind of season you don't have that time. It's like,
yeah,
like we've been almost starting 5 academy players, 3, 4 or 5 every game now. That's just the way our squad is right now. I think we're even going to break the minutes that we gave under Lampard's first season to academy players.
Your fans should love that.
I love that.
When is James coming back, or he's not?
James, man, James, he's trying really hard to get back into that England World Cup squad, which I feel is going to be a very big mistake long term.
For you, but not for England.
Well, even for England, because if he's not good and he's like rushing it, I don't think it's helped anybody.
Well, I'm going to change the subject to like pop culture, right? Sometimes pop culture affects football, like when the Queen died, it affected football. And now England, pop culture-wise, has in an Asian prime minister, and he's a Southampton fan. And somebody sent me a link of like the members of parliament going back and forth with him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I just watched this long ass. I've never watched anything about British Parliament before until somebody sent this clip of like, "Good evening, sir, and I'd like to welcome," and then who's the other fan, and then when they're supposed to be discussing.
I like how they clap back. Like it's one of those rare parliaments where you're actually allowed to clap back right away.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like a roast battle in Parliament.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
How y'all getting any laws done over there, Lee?
We're not.
Roast
That's a
battle
problem.
Parliament. But so here's the I'm going to read this headline. This is pop culture again. Bournemouth players will no longer walk out to Kanye West's song "Power" at the Vitality Stadium. So we haven't talked about Kanye on here, but we know what the deal. It's been going on. And now Kanye has affected British football. Bournemouth ain't got no walkout song. The Cherries got to find something else to like lose to inspire them to put up a good fight to lose to. What do y'all think about this this Kanye situation out here? And if you don't say anything you don't want to, but I'm just curious.
I just hope the dude gets better because I love his music. So I've loved his music since he first hit the scene, and he's clearly not doing too good, and he needs some help because you can't condone the stuff he's saying.
Right.
It's some pretty wild shit, but yeah, the guy needs to get some good people around him and get some help because he's clearly not well. But yeah, I mean, the stuff he's saying, it's no surprise people are going to distance themselves from that because yeah, you can't be backing that.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I'm older than you guys, so Jay-Z is my Kanye, and my Kanye hasn't fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he cheated on Beyonce.
Other than cheating on Beyonce, yeah.
Yeah, he cheated on Beyonce, but he
that's between the
handled
both of them, yeah.
He
brought it back.
And he brought it back. Like, his fucking up was like having Beyonce's sister attack him in an elevator, then it went to the public cheating, and he went to therapy, and he did interviews, he dropped an album, she dropped an album, and it's all love. So like I thought I was into Kanye, but I realized based on how everybody's reacting that he's not a part of my generation's life as much as he is a part of the people that I've been talking to that are younger than me. So like I don't support a lot of the stuff that he's saying, but there are some things that he does say that the bad things that he's saying is killing. Like, he mentions stuff about trying to make the world simpler and better, and he has these theories and these ideas, but nobody's trying to hear that after all the things that you said. So like you said, I hope he gets better, and I hope Bournemouth finds a song that they won't have to change from an artist who won't say anti-Semitic shit. And
I mean, so Kanye's been making it's like a outlandish statement a week kind of thing, right? Every week, and then I think he just wanted to see like how far can I push this? Like, is this thing really working? And he goes out, makes that statement, and of course, like there's a line that you don't cross. I don't like, but I actually thought that about a lot of his stuff, like. But then, I think when you're targeting a particular race, then that's where, and you have he probably believed, like his statement was that I can, Adidas won't do anything to me. It kind of felt, I mean, I don't want to say it, but it kind of felt a little Trumpian, when Trump made that statement about I can go kill somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and nobody's going to do anything.
I mean, that sounds like The Boys on Netflix, where what's the main villain? The main villain / hero villain? Homelander at the end, like he's so
he's like, what else can I get away with?
Egotistical. He's like, what else can so at the end of the last, this is a spoiler, at the end of the last episode for the last season, he actually murdered someone who threw something at him, but it hit his son and like lasered the person's head off, and the crowd cheered. And that's almost Trumpian, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's but Kanye also is like a big Trump person too, like he respects him.
Yeah,
he respects him like we respected Black people and rappers respected Trump back in the 80s and the 90s when he was like, Trump has definitely changed. There was a time when he was something that rappers aspired to. And like people like Jay-Z and P. Diddy got into businesses because of this guy. They expanded from music to where they are now. I just remember like all the magazines, it was like trying to like associate with Trump's world and people of that ilk to like do something more with their money and have like a future besides just in music. And so I think Kanye's mind is still stuck back then to when maybe, I don't know if he helped or gave advice, but he definitely was like, because one thing that inspired rappers was mafia movies. And
I remember all those episodes of Cribs. They all had Scarface. Pictures in the crib.
Yeah, to get in a gang, you had to watch Scarface. To be signed to a label as a rapper, you had to pass the Scarface quiz. There was a Scarface pop quiz at your contract signing, and if you didn't pass that shit, they wouldn't give you the contract.
Also, that was a time like before a lot of, obviously you didn't have social media, you didn't have a lot of ways of knowing. So what version you got of a celebrity was a very well curated version that they had all the power to put out, right? So if you're growing up and you're looking, it's very easy to get influenced by certain things without knowing what's under the hood. And I think now people have no escape. That's why celebrity PRs get so much money, because it becomes so much more important to keep everything well curated, and so difficult to just do it if you're just doing it on your own.
Yeah, but hopefully Kanye will get some help. I thought he was just doing it. Say again. I'm sorry, Ye. Sorry, Ye. Hopefully Ye will get some help. I thought it was just
and don't be going into other companies' offices unannounced. He went into Sketches.
Sketches. Yeah, man, he needs some help, bro.
Don't go to Sketches, definitely. That's not going into Sketches is not how you hurt Adidas. Go take that private jet to Portland. Go to Nike. Raise some hell over there.
I don't think Nike will touch him. What do you think of
Well, you said just do it, so I just did it.
yeah, I just came. I just pulled up. Yeah, I just pulled up. Yeah. What's up? Now you don't believe in your own motto? Congrats on PSV and beating Arsenal in Europa League today. Good. They got a good smacking. I think I mentioned that. And did any of you see that Anthony 360 in the middle of the match? And do you have any problem with it?
Let me see if I can find it on Twitter.
I have no problem.
I'm doing a show tonight. I've only seen scores tonight.
Yeah, just search Anthony. You'll get it.
Yeah, it should be the
Anthony
first
Spin has come up.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that. Like, a lot of times when Neymar also used to do these, he used to do these flicks, and I remember like back in the day, like some game, the opponent, I think it was Real Sociedad, somebody, like the opponent got really mad and pretty much tackled him right away. And there's a lot of like, you're taking the mickey out of the opposition, and you're trying to be offensive, you're disrespectful. I'm like, if you can't show off a football skill on a football pitch, where else are you going to show it off?
Right.
And
yeah, he doesn't have an Instagram trick football page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like what? You're not good. You just supposed to know all these things till the age of 16, 17. And then the moment you start playing professional football, that's got no space for that.
Right.
My view is you're entitled to do whatever the opposition have given you enough time to do. If they've given you time to fuck around on the ball like that, then they deserve to have it done to them. But if you do that, you then deserve the kick that's probably coming your way.
I totally agree with that too. Like, absolutely.
It goes.
It's
it
fair
goes both
game.
ways.
You're fair game then.
Yeah. Like it's the opposition's fault for not being tight enough to you to allow you to do that crazy shit. But yeah, you need to then accept that someone is probably going to kick you up in the air any second.
I could kick you up in the air. Hilarious. I have no problem with it because I love that a Manchester United player felt comfortable enough to do that in the game. And my question is to people who have some problem with that: have you seen Manchester United play the last few years? No player has felt comfortable enough to try anything like that. And you want teammates of yours to feel comfortable enough to try shit, to know that even if this doesn't come off, we're still going to win this game, even though I'm doing it when we're 0-0. And that's the level of confidence you want your team at, where they can like, all right, I'm going to try this. And nobody's mad, but you're going to win the game. You're going to get that goal somehow, because that's how we're playing and that's the vibe. And so, yeah, I'd rather we have players that feel comfortable doing that than not have players that don't feel comfortable doing something like that. Before we go, is there anything you guys want to talk about on this? We got more games.
Have you guys spoken about the best few minutes of the week, the end of the Tottenham game? I mean, I was watching that shit live and hook it to my veins. Those last few minutes, hook it to my veins. It was fucking beautiful, because just watching that whole stadium go from like complete elation to just pure rage and sadness in the space of like the time it took to do the VAR check was just Conte's fake hair almost flew off. He was so angry. Like it was a thing of beauty. It's because they didn't deserve shit from that game anyway after the way they played in the first half. Just typical negative Spurs on a game they should be dominating.
Right.
Having an ex-youth academy player that they binned off come and score against them from 30 or 25 yards. And then admittedly they got their shit together second half slowly, but they only really turned up for the last 20 minutes. I didn't want to see them win that game because, they deserve to get one back maybe. But no, fuck that team.
Well, Well, you know what, Lee? They didn't win it, so you're good.
I'm just hoping it's Alexis Sanchez or Guendouzi or Nuno Tavares who ends up scoring the winner for Marseille against them next week to put them out. That would be beautiful. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm sad I didn't see that because I was watching a better game, so I didn't see it. But when I did see the highlights on Golasso, I think it switched to that game at the last minute. And so I did kind of see it almost like. My question is, who celebrates a goal like that? Like with such convincing tenacity in 2022 when they know it's going to be reviewed. Like I couldn't understand how
you should always expect the VAR.
You get that excited over a goal, especially when you know football and you're a coach and you know where your players are. And where, like, how do you even take yourself there knowing it has to be reviewed?
You know what would be a watershed moment in football is the first madcap celebration you'll see after the VAR. Like, I want to see Aubameyang do his flips, like save them all, like don't do anything, and then wait for VAR to confirm it and then do it. Like, I want to see Ronaldo do the C after the VAR. Like, that's gonna be epic.
Conte's toupee did a flip after that VAR decision. Man was raging. That was instant red card. The referee whipped that shit out quick as soon as he blew up after that decision.
Yeah, like, why'd you get a red card when you know this was 100% possibility? Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, they behave like as if it's, you know.
Although
I loved it. I mean, it was such a marginal call.
Yeah.
But the time they were taking to make the decision, I was just sitting there going, "Oh shit, they're gonna call this back! They're gonna call this back! This is amazing!" I was getting more and more excited. And then, just to see the look on people's faces, that brought me joy.
Yeah, I saw a lot of these montage of, Tottenham watch-alongs and like people even at the stadium and how their reactions change. It was beautiful. So, I mean, it's great that it's happened to Spurs, but I like, just on principle, I don't believe in offside when it's that tight. Like, I just always feel the benefit of doubt should go to the striker, to the goal scoring team.
I'm with you, but I do believe in offsides when it's that tight, when it's Spurs. So
yeah. Also, like, speaking about the VAR celebration thing, right? Like, Harry Kane, even if you gave him that opportunity to celebrate it again, like, he's such a generic player, like footballer, that he's been at this game for how many years now. He still doesn't have a celebration you can get worked up.
He has the worst goal celebration. Like, it's so bland.
Yeah, he just like something like this. Like, he's like,
he just pumps his fists. Like,
what are you trying to do? Like, at least Shearer had the decency to raise his arm.
That I used to hate that. I was like, that's it, Shearer? That's all you got?
I mean, that's all, but at least, like, he did it long enough for it to become a trademark, right? You got to stick to it. Like, Harry Kane, like, does some weird shit every, like, and you're supposed to be the striker of the generation. Like, have some.
It's like a half sou. It's like a half sou. But
going back to those decisions though, Neil, that must have been sweet for you as well after they, after the goals they scored against you guys at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, with the fouls and the non-corner and all of that shit. It just
it'll be sweet for me only when we do it back the same way in the return game and actually end up winning, because I'm not getting that worked up over a tie. Like, I'm not feeling that happy about tying the game that late.
I like it. That's not enough for you. You need stronger justice.
I want to win. Yeah.
Well, I want to see that, so I'm behind you on that.
I'll tell you one thing. It's fun watching Spurs turn into Atletico Madrid, and not the good Atletico Madrid, to the terrible one that they are now. So that's good. Well, you guys want to call it?
Yeah.
We did a decent amount of time of a pod. We'll be back Monday, Tuesday morning. Thanks, Lee, for coming through. Thanks, Neil. Martin, we'll see you on here sometime. And we're going to try to get some guests too. I want to try to get Stephen Housen on here. He's going to let's talk to him a little bit on DM. He's going to the World Cup Qatar with do some stuff with Rio and them.
Oh, cool.
They got the Vibe with Five thing going on.
Mm.
So yeah, but United, man, who you playing this weekend, Lee? I didn't check. I forgot.
I think we got Palace away, which, I mean, who knows what Palace will turn up. They got absolutely
Hopefully the one that didn't turn up at
week.
Everton.
Yeah, I'll take that one for sure. But you don't know which Southampton's going to turn up either. Yeah, it's Palace at Palace. So, I mean, it's a game we could win, but it's easily one we could lose. You know, I'd probably take a draw there. Because you know they got good players. They got Eze, they got Elise, they got Zaha, they got Edouard if he has a good game. So yeah, it's not an easy one. I wouldn't be like I said, I wouldn't be mad at a draw. It's definitely one we can.
You want to tip? Start fast. Palace start slow.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We started fairly quick against Bournemouth when we got the lead to go 1-0 up, but we started slow against Arsenal. The first half, Arsenal could have buried us last weekend. We were lucky that we came back into it second half and we changed the tactics and we were only 1-0 down. So yeah, we definitely need to start better than we did that game, because any team who, you know, take the chances, then we ain't coming back.
Yeah. And I want to, like, everybody pray for Jesse Marsch. You ever have like a family member that's sick, and you pray and you light candles, you know, and you know, hope that they get better, and you know, like you just want to see them move a finger, and like you want them to Hulk Hogan their way out of this. Like that's why I'm rooting for Jesse Marsch. It's gonna be tough. They got Liverpool this weekend, and Liverpool can't afford to lose. Jesse Marsch can't afford to lose, so fans are getting fed up. But they're playing some amazing, beautiful football, but that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, I read an article earlier today that sort of looked at them statistically, and they are underperforming. They're they're not getting the results that their stats deserve. So they're actually, like you say, they're playing okay, but they're not getting the breaks, or they're not being clinical. I kind of feel like they need people to step up in terms of goal scoring, because like previously they'd relied on Bamford. He hasn't really looked the same since he came back from injury. Rodrigo seems to be quite a streaky player. Like he'll score for 2 or 3 games in a row and then he'll do nothing for a while. So yeah, I think they just need a bit more from those guys. But I don't think Marsch is doing anything wrong per se. Like the way he sets the team up and the way he's got them to play. But at the end of the day, like it's hard when your players aren't putting the ball in the back of the net, because they're making chances in games, and then they're making errors at the back. So yeah, that's a real frustrating one as a coach, if you're setting the team up the right way and you're doing the right things, but then it's just individual mistakes at both ends of the pitch are what kills you, and you've not got anything better to pick from. So it's a tough one for him. But yeah, he needs some luck. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, regardless of whether or not they're, you know, performing well statistically, that doesn't get you any points. So the board will only have so much patience. The fans will only have so much patience. But yeah.
Because you know what I've noticed over the time that I've been watching football? A team that plays really good game after game and doesn't get results just starts at a certain point like playing bad. And they get the same bad result that they were getting when they were doing good, but this time they earn it. You know, because they don't believe that playing good works. It's like, why would I work this hard? We're not getting anything out of it. So it's like your spirit gets broken. Like the league will break your spirit. So they need a win before the league breaks their spirit, and they just don't give their all.
It's easy to get in that negative spiral.
Yeah. So pray for Jesse Marsch, everyone. You got anything for your bounce, Neil?
No. Looking forward to another week of games just rattling by.
Rattling. So I thank you all for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Aaron Brungardt, for setting this up. Like that's his name under my figure right there on the screen. I mean, Edwards. People, I've been using his account so much. People must think that's I am Brungardt.
You used to be you used to be iPad before.
That's closer to my real name, iPad.
Yeah, I remember this comment on one of our YouTube where it said, Lee, Martin, Neil, and iPad are the best podcast on YouTube.
Say that again.
It said Lee, Martin, Neil, and iPad are the best podcasts.
That's
on
funny.
YouTube.
That's hilarious. I'll take that. My iPad will take that. All right, y'all.
Guys.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody,
Cheers.
for watching. Listen. Have a fun ass weekend. One.
Cool. All right, guys.